But I would argue that Nepal and India are much closer in their personalities than China and Nepal. The reason is that China is essentially an assimilating country, meaning they too had their different tribes and so on, different provinces, tribes, but they, like the Americans used to say, they were like a melting pot. They all became Han somehow. That's why they're having a problem with Tibetans, because they're refusing to become Han. Now, India is an accumulator. All the different people, the races, the tribes, the castes, subcastes, jatis, etc., they have found a home in India which is really based on keeping their own identity. Keeping their own identity, and therefore India would be closer to a salad bowl where all the vegetables are, you can recognize them, the tomato, the lettuce and everything, whereas in a melting pot everything melts down. So India then could only be a democracy. Now Nepal is also like that. Nepal is diverse. Nepal is very proud, the people of Nepal are very proud of their own different ethnic origins. And therefore Nepal also can only be a democracy. So there are people in Nepal who argue that we should be like China. And I would say, don't go that way. We fortunately we shed very little blood to get our independence. But our great moment was the moment when was Jallianwala Bagh, when we recognized the value of freedom and Gandhi came into the freedom movement. Well, China's Jallianwala Bagh was Tiananmen Square. And Tiananmen Square is not going to go away. That memory is going to live on, and eventually the Chinese will want that freedom. But having said all that, I would just say that this is a choice, obviously, Nepalis have to choose the way of China or choose the way of India. But I would just say that if you do choose democracy, also really understand the downside of India's democracy. Now, it doesn't have to be that way, and I hope you will avoid the problems. We are a democracy with very poor governance. We are a democracy that is, and here we are, a country which is becoming prosperous, but yet the average person has a terrible relationship with the state. Almost every interaction with the state is morally flawed. Whether it's the fact that 1 out of 4 school teachers doesn't show up, whether it is the fact in a government primary school, 2 out of 5 doctors don't show up in a primary health center. Every Indian once in his lifetime needs to change his property when his father dies. Well, almost no Indian can make that change over without paying the talati, the patwari, or whatever it is. I mean, I have to go and renew my driver's license. And the only thing nagging in my mind is, will I have to pay a bribe? So that, really diminishes us. And so that's why I say in India, we more than economic reforms, we need the reform of the state. We need administrative reforms. We need judicial reforms. We need police reforms. And we need political reforms. We need political reforms so that 1 out of 5 members of parliament is not a criminal. We need administrative reforms so that school teachers will show up. We need police reforms so that the police won't take away 25% of the earnings of the auto driver. And we need judicial reforms. So these are some lessons for you, and I would just say that you will probably choose, Nepal will choose its own path in the end. And take the best if you can. You can be a democracy with good governance, I can tell you. It doesn't follow. Democracies can function. You can take something good from China. It doesn't mean China can build a road in 1 year. India takes 5 years to build the same road. It's very tempting to say that, look, let's go the Chinese way. But then you see the downside of that, where nobody respects any rights when you build that road. Well, I've said enough. I think this is an important book. Read it. You'll enjoy it. But most importantly, everybody, all your founding fathers now in the Constituent Assembly have to read it. Thank you.